WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 4 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. So we discovered a show that we like a lot. It's called The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, right?
Yes, I love that show.
I haven't really been into, like, I don't know if you call that a sitcom, but like serial TV. Serial TV. I don't even... Anyway, I haven't really watched much TV as far as TV shows in many years. And all of a sudden discovered this and fell in love with this. And we're watching it one evening, right? And there's Jim Meskimen doing stand-up comedy. I said, wait a minute. Can we stop this? Because I don't know how you stop stuff. But you did. You stopped it.
Yeah.
We rewound it, and I took a picture of him doing stand-up comedy on Mrs. Maisel. And that's the picture if you're looking at the streaming video right now. Jim Meskimen has been with us many times in the past. He's with us right now on the phone. So many credentials to this man. I don't even want to take up his time, but I'll mention some of them in the course of our conversation. Jim Meskimen. Good morning, Jim. How are you?
Good morning. I'm glad to talk to you. I missed you last week. I overslept.
That was funny. Yeah, but that was good radio. That was fun for everybody.
Good radio.
It is.
Okay. I'm doing great. It sounds like you have some nice weather out there. I'm in L.A. and it's cool and breezy.
Yeah, we're both in good places as far as right now goes. The country's full of snow except for you and us.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of snow, yeah. We had a lot of rain, so.
Do you like the snow? I mean, do you go snow skiing?
I do. I have never really lived in much snow. I lived in New York City, but as you know, in New York, the snow doesn't last very long. It was always great. It would cover the city like a blanket, and it would be very lovely and charming. And then very quickly, it would be converted into something else.
Yeah. Well, that's their job. Their job is to convert it into, I think they make it into water.
Yeah.
Or dirty snow.
First there's the very gray slush phase, and then it turns into water.
Wait, is that where you started? Where did you start your career?
I started in show business there in New York. Yeah, I grew up in L.A., and my mother was on Happy Days, and I saw the world, but I didn't really dip a toe into it. Until I went off on my own, and as a young man moved to New York, and then I found it easier to get started there, actually, just because it's a little more of a social kind of town where you can actually, I don't know, you could run around and do a lot in a day, whereas in LA it's a little difficult to.
So when we
a
saw
lot of intense action happening.
When we saw you on Mrs. Maisel, were we getting were we getting a peek at what your life was like early in your career?
No.
Oh no!
When I was a young entertainer in 1961. No. I didn't. I've never had really quite a career exactly like that guy. I forget his name. That character. But he was supposed to be from Canada, so I thought maybe they were kind of designing it after Rich Little, who was Canadian.
Oh, okay.
And who would have been active in the period that we're depicting.
Well, and
it's a great show, Mrs. Maisel. I was so proud to be on it.
It is a fun show, but you have that in common with Rich Little, the ability to impersonate people.
That's right. That is my bread and butter. These days, I do a lot of things like I do the voice of Colonel Sanders for KFC on their commercials. If you have heard them on the radio, perhaps you played them on your own radio show.
Oh, wow, yeah.
You may not realize that's me.
I did not. No, I certainly did not realize that was you. Oh, wow, that's kind of cool. Makes me hungry.
Close to lunchtime where you are. And so I do whatever, if they need a voice for a movie or a TV show that is a sound-alike kind of thing, or for a trailer, that's the kind of work I do. And then I have my live show as well, so I do it as an entertainer. But that was a fun show because there's such good actors on Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and they have a lot of material to get through. Every show is just chock-a-block full of dialogue. The only thing that made it difficult for me was that I didn't get my script until like the night before, and that was a bit of a strain. There wasn't a whole lot of attention on my routine. I would have happily written them something, but they kept me on the hook for quite a while, and then that made it kind of dodgy.
Oh, but it's still kind of fun to be on there, right?
Did they?
Still totally fun, yeah.
Did they request you, or did you audition for the part?
I auditioned, but and they said, "Hey, we're looking for an impressionist of the period," and I very confidently, quickly wrote them and filmed them something from L.A. and sent it to them, and then they hired me off of that, which was very gratifying. That was the most fun of it, actually. In an actor's life, when he finds out that he got the job, that's about the most fun you ever have. And then,
Wow.
Then the rest is just hard work. But it's kind of like a game. So you're like, oh, I hope they pick me, I think I could do this, and then you make it happen.
So tell me about your live show that you just referenced. What do you do?
Yeah, I put it on intermittently, kind of whenever I feel like it, and I did it actually a few times last year for different corporate clients, and I do what it's called the Jimpressions show, and
oh, cool.
I cobble together a lot of different voices that I like to do, a lot of personalities that I enjoy doing. Like Tommy Lee Jones, great actor Tommy Lee Jones. I like to always do a little bit of segment of talking about him, and George W. Bush as well, because on account of he used to be president. I don't know if you realize that. He was the president.
That's kind of fun. So where would we see you? I mean, are you out in L.A. doing the live show?
Yeah, I do it usually in L.A. But I toured around a little bit last year. I was about this time last year. I was planning a big trip. I did 6 states in Pennsylvania and drove around Pennsylvania in the in the rain and the snow, and it was really a good experience.
So how are you? How are you doing? I mean, how is your health?
Good.
Your health is good.
Oh, splendidly well. Yeah, really, really good. I haven't been sick for a long time, knock on wood, and I'm feeling good. Yeah. I'm working out more. I'm actually going to a gym, and for the first time in my life, putting in regular time at a gymnasium.
Really?
In Los Angeles, because they built one so close to my home. It's like, oh, come on, I can't.
It's right here.
I can walk there. I should be able to do this. And there's a lot of really nice gray-haired people down there pumping iron.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
But you've got to be a real role model, not just to the up and coming, bodybuilders and that type of thing with your personality, but also to the up and coming actors.
Oh yeah, perhaps so. I think the LA actor in general, as a species, realized that going to the gym is really important. And I've just sort of neglected that side of it. But my mother always used to go to the gym too, so I don't know. It's just a good thing to do some aerobic exercise. I'm not interested in getting big like Chris Pratt or anything like that, but I would like to maintain my health.
Yeah,
so
sure,
I do a lot of running and jogging.
And how's your mom? You mentioned your mom. How's she doing?
Good. Yeah, we had dinner the other night. She's terrific. She's a marvelous person. It's just a delight and a treat to spend time with her.
Oh, that's sweet. She was a guest on our show too with her book. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Our book is still doing well. Marion Ross, my days, happy and otherwise.
Yeah.
And it's still she's still doing some interviews about it, and people still like it. I think every Mother's Day it'll probably get a little spike in sales because it's such a good Mother's Day kind of story.
Everybody thinks of your mom as the mom. Everybody, your mom is the mom.
Marion, right? Yeah. And you could do a lot worse. We don't have a lot of role models like that on TV these days. Most of the role models are kind of like, for God's sake, whatever you do, don't be like this person.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Reverse role models.
You're doing some filming on SWAT. That seems to be on a more serious side.
Yeah, I'm trying to at this stage in my career do more straight acting roles and not always be an impressionist. I'm interested in being an actor. That's how I started out. So last year I was on a number of shows. I was on This Is Us and NCIS and Mrs. Maisel, who we shot last year. So this year, I just worked a few days on SWAT, which was a very dramatic role, and I think you'll enjoy it when you see it. I think it'll have some resonance for you guys in particular. And I enjoyed it. I'm going back to acting class as well. Luckily, it's all very convenient for me. My wife has an acting school called the Acting Center in Los Angeles, which is a great school. So I can go there. I can, see my wife and see what she's doing and really get some decent training.
Jim, comment if there were anything that from an actor's perspective that has now changed because of kind of like the changing of the guard. ABC, NBC, CBS, they're kind of taking a back seat to things like Netflix and Amazon and YouTube Red, I think they call it. Or am I wrong about that? What is your perspective as an actor?
Well, it's a great time for actors because there's a lot of really great storytelling being done. And I think the networks, of course, are large and unwieldy and slow to react. These other platforms that you mentioned can be very innovative and and experimental. And the result of that is some really, really interesting shows and some really interesting characters that actors are very excited about playing. It seems like TV has shifted over into being more of a kind of a writer's medium, and that's a good thing creatively. Now, the difficult thing is that those other platforms like Amazon and Netflix don't really have a residual structure. So at this moment, so if you're the star of a big Amazon show, you got to hope that you cut a really good deal with the producers, because your residuals and royalties are not going to keep you alive like they used to, or like on a CBS or an NBC show. So that's the conundrum that we're facing right now. Is that I'd love to be on that show. I have a show. I have a series on Amazon as well, and I see no royalties from it.
I want to look it up. Tell me what it's called.
Oh, it's a wonderful show. It's about Impressionists. It's called Impress Me. And
oh, really?
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. It's myself and Ross Marquand, who's a star on The Walking Dead now. Terrific young actor and a wonderful impressionist. And it's really a kind of a sitcom about impressionists and what they do. And these guys want to, very autobiographical, they want to be taken seriously as actors. And so they get into all kinds of interesting...
Oh, wow.
That sounds
like
fun. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's called Impress Me on Amazon Prime. So that's...
And
cool.
Tell us about the work with Galaxy Press. Do they have a TV network themselves?
No, I wish they did. Wouldn't that be great? But they do have the... no, they have a wonderful contest that they've run called L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. And I've been participating in one way or another with this festival, or contest rather, for decades. It's been 35 years they've been running this thing. And it was set up by L. Ron Hubbard, obviously before he passed, as a way to inspire and encourage amateur writers in the science fiction and fantasy genres, and horror as well. And it's a way for these unpublished writers to kind of have a chance to be judged and evaluated by the best people in the business. In other words, other writers, other best-selling authors.
Yeah.
And then every year they pick a winner in the writers and also now illustrators category.
Yeah, it is.
And people send in work from all over the world, and it's they just couldn't have been published before. And then they give them a pretty decent prize. I don't know, I think it's like $5,000. And it basically opens the door to these people to become great authors and professional authors.
Oh, yeah. From our perspective, we interview many of them, and it's the cream of the crop. If you've ever entered a contest before as a writer or as an illustrator, you might have had to pay a fee. This one costs nothing. You might have had no feedback at all. They will give you feedback and coach you a little bit if you're close. I don't think they coach everybody, but if you're close to being a winner, I think you'll get the coaching, right?
Yeah, and it's just very encouraging and very validating. And the people that come, then there's a big awards event. There's going to be one on April 5th here in Los Angeles. I'm sure I'll be there. I've been there for years. There are also, for the finalists, there are workshops with top professional writers and illustrators, which just everything I've heard from these people, they just get completely blown away by it. Yeah. Imagine having your favorite authors there in a room telling you about how to write and reading your work and being encouraging and giving you drills to do. It's incredible. And then, of course, their work is all published in a big anthology. So on the night of the awards, these finalists get to see the paperback book with their story in it and illustrations done by the illustrator finalists. in the book released to the market. It's extraordinary.
And we were told you're one of the workshop instructors.
I have done it a couple times, yeah, because I have a background as an illustrator. I did the original Thundercats show.
Oh, really?
Which was an animated show.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Well, I was the senior character designer for that show when I was in my 20s, when I was just starting out to be an actor. My day job was designing characters and weapons and vehicles for Thundercats.
Well, how do you...
I taught at a workshop.
Well, how do you tell the up-and-coming with all their talent that they need to find their own voice and not emulate the works of others?
Well, that's not my message in particular, actually. I mean, I think there's a lot of strength in actually when you begin to emulate others, like actors do that, musicians do that, you know. I think eventually, you know, I don't think you necessarily have to hammer that point home so much, because we're all aware, I think, artists, we're all aware when we're copying and speaking in another language that isn't our own, you know, that is more the language of our heroes. So I don't know. I think that the value of the workshop is that it points the way towards, well, how do you become a professional? How do you have to set up your life to make money at it? And you know, you're going to do what you want to do. Some people just like to copy the same people over and over again.
Yeah, no,
and if you're copying somebody really great, then there's place for you.
Wow.
I think a lot of times too, in schools, for example, that might teach art or teach creative writing. I'm sure they do a good job, but I think having an opportunity with this contest to actually work, because I think the missing link between what happens in school and what happens in the real world is how to do it so that it's a business. Because a lot of times writers and actors and musicians, they're really good at their craft, but they're not good salespeople, and it's a tough bridge to cross, right?
Totally. As you said, sales, and it's absolutely right. It is a sales job. You know, you have to get out. You have to figure out a way to sell your product, which is your wonderful performance that you've polished, you know, and your wonderful skills. If you don't have someone who's your agent or manager, someone who's an excellent salesperson, and even if you have that at the beginning, you need to sell yourself to others.
I promised the audience I would brag a little bit. So let me brag a little bit about Jim Meskimen. He's our guest right now. He is a professional actor. He's an amazing impressionist. He was in recently The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. We saw him in that. He's been in Apollo 13, The Grinch, Frost Nixon, The Punisher, Not Forgotten, There Will Be Blood, Whose Line Is It Anyway, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, let's see, what else? Rules of Engagement.
In Castle, I like that TV series. That's pretty good.
That was another dramatic role. I enjoyed that.
Thundercats, we just learned a slew of commercials earlier in your career. If you could go back to any of those roles, would you like to recreate any of them at all?
No.
No, you don't want to do it again?
Move on.
Yeah.
I want to move on.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I got a lot of land to cover.
What do you tell up-and-coming actors if you were to host an hour-long acting class like your wife does? What would be one of the main messages that you would give them?
Well, when I speak to young people, and anybody who, because sometimes a person retires and they're in their 60s, and they go, you know, I always wanted to be an actor. I think I better do it now. Totally fine. You know, acting and the arts are one of those careers where you can pick it up anytime. I always tell them, just get busy doing it. And for actors these days, we have this wonderful thing called the internet. So you can, like, put things on YouTube and make a YouTube channel and begin to do performances for the world, you know, of some kind, and you'll learn a lot from it. I changed my whole career by starting a YouTube channel and by putting my impressions videos on there. I boosted everything into high gear, and it cost me nothing, kind of like the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future contest. You know, you can just kind of create something and send it out there, and you will begin to learn what it is to be a performer for the camera.
Yeah.
Are you very nervous when you're offered a dramatic role?
No, I'm not nervous. I'm sort of shocked, but I'm like, wow, really? I get to do this scene? I'm delighted, and I don't get nervous. No, the time I've ever gotten nervous is when I was not prepared, and I make sure that doesn't happen.
So can I ask you some left field questions, things that have nothing to do with anything?
Sure.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Do you own a dog?
I own 2 dogs.
You do? What kind of dogs do you have?
There are 2 kind of foundlings that we inherited one way or the other. One of them was found just across the street in a bush as a puppy. We're like, the neighbors brought it over. Is this your dog? We're like, no, but what a nice little dog that is. The other dog, yeah, I mean, we like having dogs because they're good for the household security and companionship, and they're funny, and we're dog people, I guess. I'm kind of allergic to cats, so we are dog people.
Here's another left field question: are you a builder? Have you ever built a deck or an outdoor swing or anything like that?
That's a great question. No, I have not. I am rather poor at putting together furniture that needs some assembly, but I think building would be a different deal. I just don't have the equipment, and it's not been my path so much. But I work with my hands. I do sometimes little sculptures.
Oh, really?
I can do arty things. I paint, and I still paint and draw.
Oh, is that right? Okay. Well,
yeah.
Tell me about the sculptures. What do you use? What do you use? Clay?
Oh gosh! Well, if I ever do any sculptures, which are very, very rare, I use a kind of clay which is called Sculpey, which is a polymer. That you can. It's just like modeling clay, but you can heat it up, or boil it, or put it in the oven, and it will get very, very hard and semi-permanent. So I'll sometimes noodle around with something like that, and I like to do like a little low relief scene or portrait or something. I don't do it very often, but my heart is always there.
Do you do painting? Do you do painting portraits?
Yeah, I paint a little more frequently than I do sculpts. I've got a series of paintings I've been working on for a while, and one of these days I will have a show and sell them and get rid of them. But I enjoy the activity of painting, and I'm a trained painter. And if I couldn't act anymore, or I lost my voice, then I would do a lot of painting.
So this is maybe an unfair question, but have you ever entered your art into the Writers of the Future contest?
Oh, I thought about it, but I never have. There's some awfully good people, I tell you, in this contest. By the way, your listeners, if they are interested in entering this contest, it's not too late, and you go to www.writersofthefuture.com, and you can enter. They have quarterly entries, so once you get in. Yeah. Anyway, I've thought about it many times, but these young guys and these people from all over the world, the people from Sweden and Russia and Asia that have won this prize, they get flown out if they're a finalist for the big night. But the artwork these days is really, really super sophisticated because, of course, now they're using digital art and they can create some amazing effects. I'm always so impressed by the artwork. It's just staggering.
Like I said, it's cream of the crop. If I could add my 2 cents for the writers of science fiction and fantasy, and also the illustrators in our listening audience, this is really a great opportunity for you to get your work out there. It might end up with nothing, but if you keep doing it, I think you'll find that you will become better just by doing it. And another thing, if you read what other people have submitted that ended up winning, if you get a copy of the books, Writers of the Future, let me see, I have a copy, of the cover I can put on here. The L. Ron Hubbard presents Writers of the Future. I think I have the cover for 34, says on there? 34?
34 was last year, yeah.
And just go to the website, and it's self-explanatory when you get there. It's a great way to get your work appreciated and maybe catapult your career in a good direction. Jim, it's an honor to call you our friend. Always good to speak to you.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Robin. Great talking to you, too, and we'll talk again sometime.
All right, very good. We'll be right back.
Each morning, we wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
Okay, folks, mark your calendar for Saturday the 26th. Why? For the Bluegrass and Old Time Music Festival and Car Show. Rock Crusher Canyon Pavilion and the Amphitheater at 275 South Rock Crusher Road in Crystal River is the location. Doors open at 10 a.m. For just $15, you'll enjoy both the car show and music. Craft and food vendors will be on site. And don't worry about the Florida weather. It's a covered pavilion. Again, that's Saturday the 26th. Shamrock Security Systems, 629-3223. Shamrock Security Systems is located here in Ocala, Florida. Shamrock Security Systems is a top-rated alarm company offering 24/7 monitoring, video surveillance, fire and flood protection. You'll sleep a little better once the job is done. Shamrock Security Systems for over 31 years. 629-3223. PPIR is a networking group formed to serve the realtor and small business community. It primarily serves the real estate and construction industry, but is open to all businesses that provide any service or product to the real estate business community. PPIR has no membership dues or fees for attendees. The watchwords are keep it simple and maximize networking time. PPIR chapters meet 3 times monthly at different locations after normal business hours. For information on this, call 352-615-9412.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. The Kentucky Catholic high school student seen in photos and videos face-to-face with a Native American man chanting on the National Mall in D.C. says he meant no disrespect.
I respect him. I'd like to talk to him. I mean, in hindsight, I wish we could have walked away and avoided the whole thing. But I can't say that I'm sorry for listening to him and standing there.
Nick Salmon on NBC's Today Show. The kid and his classmates from initial video were widely interpreted as mocking Nathan Phillips, who in subsequent video is seen approaching the kids. White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders says President Trump will speak to the nation next Tuesday.
Whether he does that from the halls of Congress or whether he does that in another location.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says the president should not deliver his State of the Union address in Congress during the partial government shutdown, and Congress needs to pass a joint resolution to set a date and time for the State of the Union address. This is Fox News.
You know when you have about a billion things to do today, and then you realize you're out of whatever it is that you really need, and next day shipping isn't going to cut it because you really need it in like an hour. Yeah, that's when you turn to Office Depot Office Max. Buy what you need online at OfficeDepot.com or on our app and pick it up in store for free in just 1 hour so you can get back to whatever else is lurking on your to-do list. Hurry in and save on tax software. Save today at Office Depot Office Max. Offer expires January 26, 2019.
What happened? You used to go hours without visiting the bathroom. Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee. Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate are introducing a new wonder pill, Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced, with 3 key ingredients that are great for your prostate. To celebrate, your first 30-day supply is free. Pay shipping and handling. Get P3 Advanced free. Call 1-800-257-5251. 1-800-257-5251. 1-800-257-5251.
This is Matt from Crossroad Auto Sales. I want to invite you to come over and check out our vehicles. All of our vehicles at Crossroad Auto Sales go through a rigorous 100-point safety inspection. We work with most outside finance companies, and we even have in-house financing available. Stop by today at 1800 Northwest 10th Street or give me a call at 690-6695. That's 690-6695. Crossroad Auto Sales. We won't leave you stranded at the crossroad.
WOCA gets results.
This is Ted Berkey from PR Newswire, and I have worked with Larry and Robin for the last 12 to 14 years. They're one of my favorite interviewers. They are always well prepared, ask the best questions, and they're super nice. And I just feel honored to work with them for this long. AM Ocala is one of my favorite shows, and I'll continue booking them for as long as I can.
WOCA gets results.
Tick-tock. The days fly by, and we find tax season is upon us once again. Not to worry, though. With a reputable CPA firm on your side, you can rest assured that all of your needs will be handled in a professional and thorough manner. Robson, Scribner & Stewart is just that firm. They're there for their clients year-round, not just during tax season, to handle your needs and answer any questions you may encounter. At Robson, Scribner & Stewart, there is no client too small or too large. Their expertise ranges from the single individual to the largest of corporations. Get your return prepared by a professional who will use their years of experience to ensure that